Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Acolyte review. I'm the number one Kylo Ren fanboy, Travis Snell, and I'm joined by.
I am Semantics. Patzer.
The pupil, Taylor Field.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't guessed, well, I think I already said, welcome back to the Acolyte review. But yes, we're here. Acolyte episode 6 spoilers review, breaking this down. As usual, lots of good stuff going on in the feed. We got The Boys happening, we got House of Dragon happening. Next couple weeks there'll be some fun summer reviews, and we're leading up to Deadpool, Wolverine, and Comic-Con because now we got that official. So there'll be some good newscasts, and we'll do a Comic-Con prediction. We'll do Deadpool, Wolverine prediction later on this week. Well, I'll tell you more about that later. About some exclusive episodes coming out. Lots of stuff happening on Patreon, and then so just subscribe to the feed. There's lots of good, juicy episodes. I don't have it on the schedule, but I think Long Legs is happening. Kirkland, you've seen Long Legs, right?
What is it called?
Long Legs.
Long Legs?
Remember the serial killer one with Nick Cage? The really creepy trailers?
I don't. I don't at all.
Okay, we're going to have
Not
to
even a
talk
little
to Mr.
We'll talk.
Austin
We'll talk.
Patzer
We'll
about
talk.
that. But we talked about reviewing it, and it was because Dylan was telling me, like, oh, yeah, we're all seeing it, so why isn't it on the calendar? And then it's like, oh, yeah, it's just never... I don't know. Maybe it was one of those that we thought about, but as it's gone on. So lots of good reviews coming this summer. But you know it's a good review? Hopefully this one right here. So I threw to him a swing and miss. So I'm going to throw to him. Hopefully no miss this time. Mr. Patzer, what did you think about episode 6, Corrupt and Teach? Also the motto here at GeekVerse.
They did go back to the double title. I actually
did.
missed this week's. I was curious.
They just forgot. They forgot one week. Like, fuck, we didn't do it.
Yeah, there was some stuff in here I was really vibing with. I'm not gonna lie. I was really digging some back and forth between certain characters. There's I think still a lot of big question marks that come out of this episode for just the overall meaning of what this has to do with the Star Wars universe, and I'm curious just how they're gonna burn off those loose ends. You got a question, or you just got big squeeze?
I was trying to summon the balloons on the gimmick. Okay. Somehow I brought the balloons up, and I haven't figured it out yet. So
I see, but I think I'm like, I'm pretty damn positive actually after this one. It's definitely, with any of these shows, it can definitely, I think, go up or down depending on how this show rounds out. Mm-hmm. There's many times I just found myself like, why aren't they just doing this with this show? Like I had that sort of thing. Right, like backseat armchair quarterback while watching the show.
Where's Revan?
It's more so just like this could have been done. And like I hate like I'm trying to catch myself by being like, oh, I could have wrote a better story. It just seems like the focus. I don't really understand their focus up until this point, and I'm hoping I'll understand that by the end of the show.
Sometimes I don't know if they do either. That's the scary thing when I watch it. I'm like, I don't know.
I was watching. I mean, minor spoiler: the actress that plays gentleman that I don't know his name, gentleman with the hat.
The actress that plays the gentleman I don't know. What? An actress that playing a gentleman.
I had to pull up the cast list. I'm so bad with names. I usually have to refer to that. So. Let's go.
Who are you talking about?
Chimere and yes. Osha. There's a dialogue between those two characters, and Shay's just like, I don't know if it's the actors or if the writing is just bad, but like it just seems so. I'm like, it's the writing. It's the writing. Trust me, they are way better than the writing that's going on with those characters. I think that this episode showed us that at least. I mean, Shay pointed it out, but she hasn't been very invested in the show overall, but. I don't know. Like I'm curious to break it down with you guys. I don't have like major cons. I think some things to kind of point out and just have a question for. But like performances were good. Like I don't know. Like it's not like I got a character in here that I just absolutely hated or despise. Like maybe some Mando moments have. The show like continues to just kind of be. Like 7 to 8 range for me, which like honestly like that's really solid, and I don't see it going like really high by the end of it, at least for what we got right now. But who knows? It could drop a little bit by the end, just depending on the consequence of I guess what happens here. But I'm just gonna pass it there because I don't want to accidentally say something that.
He was doing something down there.
There's a disturbance in the force there for a quick moment, but I think I'll just pass it there. As cryptic as my overall is.
Dalton says, now this is the episode I've been waiting for. I love a quiet, intriguing character piece. And I can piggyback on that a little bit that I don't think I can get to the so I do love a quietly intriguing character piece. I don't know if
It's the episode you've been waiting for, Travis.
Yeah, like it has portions of that. I will say this is my favorite episode, but I'm in a very mixed realm with the show because again, last week I loved the lightsaber fight. Like I loved the cool stuff. I loved what everyone talked about, but for me, lots of character stuff I just couldn't get into because it's so poorly written that I'm not invested in this fight, you know. And then, like I said, episode 5 and 4 they infected how I felt about 1 to 3, which I don't know out of those which were my favorite, but like I liked all those episodes, so it's like by proxy. But I think there's one specific thing. It's not just because it like hits on like a trope that I like you know, look at the name, like, and this one lots of they're up in the ante as far as things we see going on. What's eyebrows you making there, Mr. Patzer?
I just see the Ren in your name. That's what I.
Yeah, like so. There's isms that someone will be, oh, that's why Travis likes it. No, like I do like that. I like that concept in general, which is I don't know. It's not a big spoiler. Fucking Osha was with Kymir. Kymir Plagueis Jr. Kymir at the end of the episode, and oh, guess what? They're talking in this episode. Like, it's not a big spoiler or anything. And that stuff to me was all great. I love any interaction of you know, a Sith who they've confirmed he is a Sith. The actor says he's a Sith. Leslie Headland says he's a Sith. So I'm fucking done talking about it. He's a fucking Sith. I don't care if it breaks your can. I don't care if he's Dark Tenebus. If he's not Dark Plagueis, not Dark Palpatine, not Dark Who's Your Mom. Like, doesn't matter what he is. He's a Sith according to this show. Like it or not. Caddy Mundy's alive, all that good stuff, right?
I don't know. There's some wiggle room in there. They could be lying.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into it. He's a Sith. Let's play the Kylo Ren theme. I don't fucking know what we're doing here. So that stuff I really enjoyed. I thought for what we've seen in live action, it was a different take, and I'll get to more specifics. And I was enjoying that aspect. And I think the actors, like you're saying, I think writing for Kymir was better this episode. Last week, I think there was a couple of cheesy one-liners and stuff, but this week was a lot better. And I think the performances are good. The rest of the show, it was, because we were talking about this with Mike in the Discord, or at least I was. I don't know if it's like filler, but it's like a plot point, and then they're like very stretched out. It's like butter scraped over too much bread. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's happening here, where we did get things in each segment, but it took too long, and they do something that is like almost parody level with Soul in this episode. Like, it's super annoying. Like, it feels like a scary movie White Chicks moment where it's like, and then something happens, like, oh, I'll talk to you later. It's just like it's kind of a shame that they had to keep doing this, like making us wait till next week for certain things. But and I'm not in an intrigued way; it's more like an annoyed way. Like, okay, cool. So I would say I like this episode for that one segment. It would be my favorite. But yeah, I'm still iffy on the show overall. I liked it. I wasn't bored watching it. I was bored watching some stuff, but I need to see. I guess what is that? We're at 7 and 8 now, and yeah, like if I'm in progress, like I think it's gonna be lucky if I give this show a 7, and I don't think it's gonna happen because we talked about many weeks. This week again, May continues to be just a terrible character. Every week, this character they just make her do the most. It feels like it's James McAvoy from Split. We're dealing with a different person every week, but yeah, those are my thoughts, Mr. Field.
I really, really enjoyed this episode, and for me, it's to be expected. You have a high octane one that was last week, and so you're going to get something that's just kind of like calm down and mellow. And so, I think that as you guys said, the writing stands out. It's not my most favorite, but I love the actors here. I think Kymir was great, and I think Osha is great. I think the certain things and progressions between our characters here is really, really well done. And yeah, it really has me excited. There's certain isms that there's stuff in the prequels that I really like that are dark side oriented, and Kymir is just such an intriguing and interesting character, and there's just isms that are emanating from exploring this narrative further, and I really, really like that. So I'm hoping that things kind of progress further along this path. Now, you said, of course, like there's all this debacle, like Kylo Ren's theme, whatever, and Yeah. We don't need any of that. Like, if you
That's what
want
they
to,
did, and she said it's on purpose.
like,
My boy's a Sith.
I don't know. Well,
So
Kylo.
I will say though, because this isn't a spoiler. This is something we didn't talk about last week because I didn't catch it. He'll talk about it after that. Like in the big reveal, because I feel like if you're watching episode 5 or 6 now, it's like you should have saw 5. So if you're mad about
You really should have saw.
you're mad about us talking about Khmer or whatever, like get out of here. During the reveal or an end point, at some point they played the Kylo Ren theme, and I'm gonna pause it forward. And maybe I should like this more, but I don't because I prefer overall great writing to good writing, and I think this show has been very mixed. There has been some great writing times, and there's times been very, very poor. Um, Taylor, maybe the writer of the show views Sith the same way that I do. That anybody that's a dark side user with a red lightsaber is just a Sith. Because that's what I would say if she's saying this guy's a Sith and using the Kylo Ren theme. If that's just in one thing, and I should be defending her. I'm not here, but like I wonder if she views it the same way. Like, well, that's just a Sith. They're all Sith. Whatever. Let's move along.
It's tricky because then I mean, does it not counteract Ryan Johnson? Or Ryan Johnson's like, hey, Kylo Ren's like, the Jedi, all of it doesn't matter. I'm not a Sith. I'm Kylo Ren or whatever.
Yeah, this is before that.
Paraphrasing.
This was before that.
This is, yeah, but weren't you
Yeah.
alluding to like, oh, my boy is a Sith, when technically in Ryan Johnson's way of handling it, he's not?
When I said my boy this episode, I was talking about Kimmy here.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Kylo Ren.
No, that's my man. No,
Okay.
he's a
Number one
Sith.
Knights of Ren fan.
He's a
That's
Sith
his
in my
name.
opinion. There's two. It's a rule of 2 situation in all 3 sequel movies.
Ren is a Sith to you?
Yeah, it's yes or no? Is it a rule 2 in all the sequel movies?
No, that's
Yes,
out the
it
window
is.
in there.
No, it's not. You don't see those Ren use any force. You don't see the lightsabers in what is it? God, 7 and 8. Hang on, let me finish. 7 and 8. It's Snoke and Kylo, and then a 9. It's Kylo and Palpatine. It's the same thing, and they just renamed it. It's like a band that reformed with a different singer.
What do you think, Kirkland?
He already agrees with you with the bullshit rules, but he knows I'm right. He deep down.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
He wants to be like,
No.
oh, but the lore says this. They don't give a fuck about the lore. They treat the same way. Why not? If they're Knights of Ren, I called him Kylo Kirkland. Why didn't we see the Knights of Ren popping off with a bunch of dark side stuff and like old Kotar of like bunch of dark side users? It's the same thing. It's two.
As someone who
dark
has
side users.
seen the sequel trilogy, I don't even know what the fuck the Knights of Ren are. So like, I have no idea what to answer that. Like, they could be stormtroopers for all I know. And like, okay,
be
there's
Sith.
a comic book that covers that, but
Yeah.
I'm not reading that comic book.
There you go. Kirkland, Switzerland.
That's my
as
political
always.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, it's like the Sith are, and they've ruined like. There's Sith that are recontextualized, and there's Sith that are ruined. In the Dark Times, Palpatine and Vader are ruined. In the Clone Wars, they're ruined because you have like fucking Ventress and all these Sith assassins. No, they should have all. Once Bane found that fucking holocron from Revan, that's it. Should have been okay. We're rocking with 2, and no, they fucking didn't.
It's just like what Taylor was saying. It's just so unnecessary to even really label it. Like, can we just have like a dark side user and like that's just it? Like, why do we have to get these labels? And the
'Cause I
showrunner
think
just
to
feels
them-
the need to, which is very strange to me. It doesn't change the story at all. Like, if you don't call them a Sith or not,
Not
like
yet.
it's just someone that's killing Jedi, using dark side of the Force. Let's just leave it at that. And I think that's what the showrunner should have said from the get-go. Why'd you use the Kylo Ren theme song? I don't know. It's on my Spotify Wrapped. I fucking love that song, so I
Oh,
threw
you
it in my
can't say
show.
that.
Like,
You
that's what
can't-
they should have said.
I wonder if it's just like
Let me be a showrunner for one of these Star Wars shows and just put me in the press conference. I'll handle it.
Oh yeah, you're like the presser guy. Yeah, I just feel like who knows? Maybe we'll not get it because I feel like I don't know her being like, well, it's on purpose. Well, there's only 2 things. It's either this guy's fucking related to Kylo Ren or it's the Knights of Ren. But we've specifically said the Knights of Ren are not
So-
Sith, but. They've all said, hey, this guy's a Sith. It's a new Sith. We wanted to create a new Sith for the show. And that's why, again, I'm proposing that Disney, they look at all these people that they're just fucking Sith. Every dark side user is just a Sith to them, if this is the case. Because then this guy's he's a Sith.
I don't know what the fuck he is. I don't know.
Whatever.
Let's see what happens in the last episode.
Okay. let's get to spoilers. One of you two are doing the upload, so you decide in the
Did we already go to
chat
spoiler
there.
break? I feel like we were just talking
No, we didn't.
spoilers
We
there.
were
Okay.
talking spoilers for episode 5, so we were safe. That's why. We never got to
Okay.
episode 6. We never transitioned. We're talking about the
One
Kylo
star
Ren
review.
thing.
I didn't
Yeah,
watch
exactly.
episode 5 yet. I
Oh
wanna
my
know.
god! I want to hear I only listen on spoilers. I was gonna binge it. 1 star. Kylo Ren's not a Sith. All right, ladies and
I'll
gentlemen.
take it. I'll take it,
We're,
Taylor.
we're
I'll
gonna
take it.
take our first
Okay.
ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. Hopefully, I don't lose powers. You guys getting big thunderstorms over
Oh,
there?
I'm hearing it.
Is it
yeah.
thunderstorming?
Fuck! No.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
No, I'm safe here on the west side.
Oh, not yet. Just start blowing it. If you didn't like those ad breaks, head over to Patreon. More specifically, I guess you search GeekVerse, but the link is down below, along with everything else you need to know. That's where you get ad-free, early, exclusive episodes. You get the Alien Retrospective, 4 episodes right now. AVP will be up there in 2 weeks. And Logan Retrospective and Apocalypse, lots of good stuff. 2 exclusive episodes, Bread and Butter, and the originals, that'll be good. And yeah, that's the best way to support us. And you get a bunch of different gifts and benefits for those tiers. And then more importantly, if you want to wait, if you're thinking about, I'll try it out at some point, but I don't know when, wait till August 3rd, because that's going to be GeekVerse Day. We're doing an 8 to 9 hour stream. And then what's going to happen is every time someone ups their tier or joins, we'll make that stream longer. There's going to be, I should just start doing that. Maybe in this one, I'll start putting in what's happening on the stream. But there's going to be me and Taylor in a wrestling match. I dropped the first episode of The Downfall of Taylor Field. Go look at YouTube. Taylor's trying to get out of this match, but me and the lawyers, we got some good stuff planned. So, and then, yeah, lots of other stuff. Geek Versus, where it's Deadliest Warriors, fixture characters, 2012 Golden Geeks, trivia battle. We got lots of patrons joining the trivia battle right now. I'm not sure if you saw the post. So it's going to be myself and Dildog leading the team, and I can't wait to bring him down. Hopefully
Team
there's some
Dildog.
Star Wars questions on there, and Dylan's just frozen in the nick of time. But
Are you there, Kirkland? Are you there for that?
oh yeah,
I
he's
don't
there
know
all
what you're
day.
talking about.
Well,
I'm
no,
gonna say yes.
we were talking
I'll be
about
there.
it, Travis.
You
Remember,
will
we
be.
weren't sure. Like,
I think
he
what
was
we're
there.
gonna do, a
What
live.
are you
wheel
going on
s-
about you and your secrets over here?
I think we're gonna do a live wheel spin to decide who's on whose team. I think that's the fair way to do it. We put all the names on a list, do a live reaction.
The
see who
randomizer
wins.
wheel? Bring
Yeah,
it
the
in for Maddie?
yeah. I think
We
do
can
that,
make like
yeah.
a actual one too, like a physical one.
You can do that, but I don't have the time.
I'm
as
gonna
a father
go
of
ahead and
3
say
with
it's a
multiple
solid
jobs.
maybe. I'll do that.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen is Osha and Kimi are gonna fuck, maybe, but if not, he's gonna turn her to the dark side. So yeah, let's start there because this was
Let's
easily
stop
my
there.
favorite stuff of this episode.
It's my favorite star on screen, as Travis was gonna say. No, I completely agree. That was my favorite. Honestly, when they were in that cave together, that was the best thing that's happened in the show so far. I was fucking loving those whole sequences of. Also, it seemed like a different. For me personally, from my experience in Star Wars, it seemed like a very different setting for that type of conversation to go between like a dark side user trying to
I agree.
basically lure over a character.
Yes.
And not really by saying like you want my strength and power. It was like really just
Takes
like
his
trying to
clothes
meet.
off.
Yeah,
You want my
you
body.
See
Raise
that?
this fucking
You see
cock.
that?
Yeah.
You can have this.
This can be yours. I'll
Pulls
fuck you all
a-
night long if you're a Sith user.
Pulls an Aemon Targaryen. just steps out of the pool.
Yes, brother, you can have her.
No, but like really just like meeting her in the middle and like just trying to like actually speak to her as a person, which it seems from her experience and I know other Padawans' experience, like the Jedi don't always do that. Like it's really their way or the highway. And I love the way that she had worded it, or Kymir worded it, where it's like the Jedi they only want to teach the Force their way, and if they don't, they say that like you'll just lose the power. And like I just love that insight because it's just like, man, the Jedi are just such you've heard me rant and rave about just the Boy Scout Jedi, and they just have their ways, and it's just I loved his perspective on the argument. It seems very different than just the Sith of the past. There you go. I'm labeling him a Sith already.
He's a
For-
Sith.
For the sake of
creator
argument for the
says
show,
he's a
I'm going to
Sith.
be calling this character a Sith. So anyone out there,
We can't just go again. Like, no, it's Leslie. It's not a Sith. It's like that's what they write it as, you know.
But like I really really love that whole argument. And coming into this episode off of last week's episode, I was curious how his argument was going to be to Osha, because it just seems like she's a character that I don't really see how she would have been persuaded to the dark side. Like it's not like she has a lot of anger maybe she does that hasn't really been shown so far in the show. You would think that that would have been shown up until this point. Maybe you can make some arguments that she's just
I think we talked about
upset.
last week a couple of them, and now especially with apparently she didn't leave the order.
Yeah.
They I guess didn't pass her through. You know.
But like I think it's more so just like compared to other characters that have maybe swayed to the dark side in the past, she seems like the least one that would do it. But it makes it interesting how maybe she could be aligned with someone that has those thoughts, even though she wasn't like, I don't know, just like super super angry type character that most new dark side users are kind of aligned with. So I love the way that dialogue went. Like again, that was kind of the sequence where Shay was like, is this just like poor writing? I think it wasn't the best, but compared to what we've gotten so far in the show, I really really dug it. And Osha was showing some curiosity, I think, in the things that he was saying. It was just, to me, it made it seem like he's somewhat winning her over, which I did not think that she might have got there. I'm at this point in the show. I think it's pretty low chance she will make that turn. But man, if this
She had
show
that
ends
helmet
that way,
on.
if the show ends this way and she's just getting in the pool with him, holy fuck! I'm gonna be very hyped going into season 2 because I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think they have the balls. I hope I'm wrong, because that would make it very, very exciting going forward, because that's such a different Star Wars story that we've seen before, like from that perspective, and that's what I was hoping this whole show was going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
Wonder Meg in the chat, always good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, right? Of like, could they be bold enough to do that? And I made the pitch of like, one, if we find out what Soul, which we're finally going to find out, I imagine next week, what's going on, because he tried to tell May 10 times and always was like, oh, there's a bug, I gotta go kill it, but I'll tell you right when I get back. Like, he was distracted. So, like, I think at least 3 times he's like, here's the true story, and then the lights would flicker and go, oh no, I can't tell you yet. So next week we'll get the true story. I imagine. I was so pissed when it went to black, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like just tell us the story, please. And then we got the other scene, but I don't know, it's tough because Leslie Edlin said this ends in a definitive way, not in the way that I think they answer all stories, but I think in a way where you could watch season 1 to season 2 back to back. Or sorry, the end of season 1 and end of season. You can watch the season 1 and feel fulfilled. Is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, it's hard because with 2 episodes, that's where it's like I don't think you could do that turn. I also don't want it to be, I don't know, like what. I just feel like we could go down the route of doing exactly what they did in Last Jedi, where it's the Kylo and Rey situation, and they're very close, and then Rey doesn't turn, and then they're on opposing sides again, right? And with 2 episodes left, you could be right. I'm hoping, because to me, that is the best way to end the show, of Soul telling the story, and May finally going, man, I've been wrong my whole life, you know, even though he's going to try and kill this man again after a couple... in the same 24-hour span going, no, I'm going to turn myself into Jedi. That'll always be a stickler for me. The rest of the time the show is like, I never understood how you can do such a flip. But if they flip her and whatever, and she has that helmet on, to me that was hoping, because the difference is with the Rey thing is at least that's in a scene, and then they go for lightsaber fight, and then it's over. This is you're ending an episode on she's putting the helmet on. Now there's also the argument of it's TV, you just need a cliffhanger to get us back next week. I get it, but for me, I'm hoping it is the start of, because I didn't think it's like a turn, but I hope it's just like the few little inklings of, man, there could be a different way. There could be another route to go down. I don't have to listen to the Jedi who rejected me. You think about her as a child, she, you know, maybe not the greatest written as we talk about, but apparently wanted nothing more to be a Jedi, right? Left her family, her sister, her mom, because she wanted to be a Jedi. And think about that. She leaves her family, trains her whole life, and the Jedi turn her away. I think that does have some, you talk about Sith things like anger, hate, suffering, and even said desire. Like that to me is a Sith trigger right there of you want something, you didn't get it, you know? Anakin wanting to keep Padme alive. He wants it, doesn't get it, you know? So that's the thing where I think I can see a path for Osha. May, I think, is harder because they've been so wishy-washy with her, but I would love that flip. And like you were saying, Kirkland, that's what I liked about in live action, not the TV shows, books, because I'm sure there's been variations of that, right? But in live action so far, sure, you had Vader try to turn Luke, but what are the 2 situations? He's beaten with a lightsaber, and the other time he's handcuffed. Like, they're always like against his will sort of situation, right? Kylo and Rey, they had chats like this, but the difference is Rey was kind of forced to listen to him, right? They kept having that Skype call where they just kept talking to each other, and they also misunderstood the situation because Kylo thought Rey was going to the dark side, and Rey thought, oh, Ben's coming to the good side. Where I don't think at any point Osha is doing you should come back to Master Soul and he'll help. Like, that wasn't pitched at all here, right? That was nothing. So, and then I'm trying to think in the prequels, it's tough because Palpatine, like, again, he did talk calmly like Chimere, but he did it in a way where he is like, especially, Plagueis the Wise, he's like Vader. He's holding something over Anakin's head of, I know your wife's gonna die, I'm the only one that can help you. And then there's also 3 movies of him slowly like that's a real slow burn from the age of, what age does Anakin turn? Do you know off the top of your head? What is he like? He's like 10 when they get him, 8, 10 when they get him, and then what is he, like a 20-year-old man?
Pretty sure he was 11, and you had another 10 years, early 20s.
So that's a 10, 12-year burn of working on this guy to finally make him turn. So that's why I liked where he's like, you can go right now. You're just going to have to swim. It's a little dangerous. If not, you can wait for the tide. He never once forcibly, even using the Force, no pun intended, took his lightsaber back. He let her have it the whole time. He threatened, just said, hey, just kill me now. So that's where I enjoyed that, where it was a very just... And I think he feels that she might need that because it feels like she's maybe been pushed in a lot of direction, pushed by her mother and the witches, pushed away by the Jedi. So I think this is a better route for him to talk calmly and just more invitingly and like, hey, this is the way it is. This is how I see it. They see it this way. That might not be the right way. Or like he feels like he's letting her decide. He didn't come off as threatening. And I feel like that's what I liked. I wish he had more energy of this last week because I get he's in the battle, but like I said last week, be like, "Oh, you're trying to hide your face? That's why I have a mask." Like he was much more like iffity and just like piss and vinegar. Where I preferred this. Like he felt almost at times cool and calm like a Jedi, but he's a Sith. Kylo Ren is not cool and calm. Darth Vader. He's like cool and calm, but he's also been charred up a lot, so he's like in pain all the time.
Yeah, he's roasted.
Yeah, Palpatine, he was cool and calm. I'm not trying to say, oh, this is Plagueis and he trains him. No, but like Dooku, he's cool and calm, but Darth Maul, not cool and calm. So it's just a situation of like Sith are very 50-50. They're very headstrong or they're very that. It looks like they're kind of doing a bit of both. So I hope the next time he gets in a fight, the dialogue is a bit more with this type of character. Not so much last week when he was trying to maybe, they gave him a couple dingers, but yeah, I really enjoyed everything they did here, and I fucking loved the whole him just stripping down, and not even just the shirt, he's just skinny dipping, and because I just feel like that's
they're cowards though. They didn't even show a booty or a crack or anything.
No, they can't show that. I don't think they've shown any booty in Star Wars.
They can show a head being fucking snapped, but no booty.
Yeah.
That's the way the culture is. But yeah, he's just free dicking it out there, and just good for Chimere, so.
Good for Chimere. I was just gonna add on. My favorite arguments too for when like a Sith is trying to just tell their way is not so much like I just want all the power for me or anything. It's really just like he wants to live his own life and like use the Force how he sees fit. Not so much he's gonna just destroy Coruscant or like rule the galaxy, but like he just wants to use the Force his way, and you have these fucking hall monitors out there that want to come and just take him out because he's not aligned with them, and he's like that's like the base of his.
He's also ordering their deaths though as well too. You're forgetting.
Okay, fair enough. Again, I'm a Sith apologist over here.
He did tell me to go kill these 4 specific Jedi, so he's
that was a test though. That was a test. Come on, but like that side of the argument, I love. It just seems so much more poetic and like more gray area, I think, than it's usually labeled as, or and he said it again in that scene of just like different emotions that the Jedi try and just like hide from themselves, and it's really just like nerfing their own power because they're not able to tap into the full potential of what they might be, and just everything he was saying, it was just like, man, this like there's some real diamonds in here that if we're able to just explore the show from start to finish, start to finish with those ideas. Obviously, you need more than that to make a compelling show, but for those little moments, that's where I'm like, we are so close to just like a perfect Acolyte show that I was wanting to get, and who knows, maybe the finale is gonna be insane banger, and I'm just really high on this show. But I think that's why although I'm getting these glimpses, I think that's why I think maybe like an 8 out of 10 is kind of my max that I could get from the show. I'm not going to fully rate it right
back
now.
and really
Exactly.
change. Yeah,
like the May character. I haven't even talked about her yet, but like I mean, you mentioned her. You know, I don't want to go so hard before Taylor gives his thoughts, but like, fuck, what a waste of time it seems to have that character, and like just so wishy-washy. Shay was asking me like what her motivations are. I'm like, I don't even fucking know. Like last week she was gonna hand herself in to the Jedi, and now she's trying to kill Master Soul alone on the ship. Like it's just all over the place with that character. But I digress. Sorry, Taylor Field.
Well, before you go, Taylor, Super Mike says the hard thing for me to accept that Osha would easily be swayed by the guy who killed Jackie right in front of her, the girl they basically admit she loved. And before you go to that, like I think, I guess for me, just where I can agree to half it, but where I can't agree is like I don't think she's swayed yet. I think it'd be different if she pulled the red lightsaber. Like this is her like flirting with the idea, and he's trying to give the idea that hey, I'm the innocent one here, and they were attacking me, so I had to kill them. Right? Not he didn't. That's paraphrasing. He didn't say it like that because he still killed them, but still they were trying to attack him. He did initiate the attack, so that's the thing. But if he's trying to show that there's this big conspiracy against him or the dark side about kind of guarding the force, like letting no one else use it, and I think that's where I can get on board is because this whole pitch of why can't I use the force, she was told at some point, hey, you can't be a Jedi, so she was kind of told in a similar route that this like you're not good enough for the force here, you know. So I do understand the Jackie thing. I just don't think I'm on the bandwagon that she's easily swayed yet. I think she's just curious because she really has nowhere to go right now. I guess she could find Soul, but like I don't know. She doesn't know where he is, and I think she's just kind of a lost character that's looking for something. So,
yeah. So, I think that with Chimera and the dialogue with Osha, I think that there's so much that I really, really enjoy with this. I think that again, the writing is not great, but the actors really make up for it for me in a lot of these scenes, and so everything Chimera is doing with Osha, I'm really, really I enjoy it because to me it just has those Palpatine vibes. It's just such a different approach, and if you feel like you want to regretfully kind of believe and take in what he's saying, and it's just such a fun approach that these Sith Lords have to just recruit you. I guess they want it to sound enticing, and they're good with their words, and the way that he's just being super not, I guess, super friendly, but he's just being.
Well, he led with the butt ass naked. That's pretty super friendly.
Well, he's accepting her to make her own decisions, but he knows the outcomes already. Even though he says, "Yo, I'm not a mind reader. I can't read your mind." Like he knows how things are going to play out here, and I feel like between the two sisters, you have him approaching May a very different way because I mean, May didn't even know what he looked like, and it was very different, and now. It's either in the grand scheme of things, he wanted Osha in the long run, or maybe he understood how he really messed this up. And now he's trying a completely different approach with Osha as opposed to May.
She did know, May did know his planet though, that he has his home base on, which that's kind of, I was surprised by because I feel like at any point if she turns, she just brings some people there, which I did thought was going to be Octu or whatever that hell place was from Last Jedi where Luke was hanging out. Like, it looks
I thought it was too.
Very similar.
It looks the same.
Yeah, and I actually think that would have been cool if they did that because I don't know what the status of it is in this era. So maybe it's up and running. But the fact that it was like a Jedi place and if a Sith hang out there, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I don't know the status in the High Republic. Maybe people are just having orgies there.
No porgs.
Maybe,
no porgs. That's what I was gonna say. Like. They could make the art like maybe it still could be like maybe the porgs are on the fucking South Pole. You know, it's classic Star Wars. You never see the whole planet. You usually just see the one area. They flow north, or it's what a couple hundred years. So maybe they morph from those little elephant penis nose looking things.
Maybe It's at least it's about 100. How many years are between episode 6 and 7, Taylor?
30.
So it's about 130 years.
Yeah,
because this is about.
There's another 20 between 3 and 4.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so it's about 150.
Star Wars 1 out of 5.
Oh damn! I'd say thunderstorms really got Kirkland. Damn, he's out.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'd say at least 160 to 170 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So, But yeah, but again, I just think that he is really just. Heck,
Cookman's
I would have
wrong
joined
either way.
him. I would have joined him. I mean, with
Oh,
his
once I
pitch.
saw him
Oh,
naked, yeah,
that
I would have.
cock, yeah.
I would have jumped in there. I would have been like,
Just takes the rope
he
off.
he would just looked and I was saying cannonball, and I would have hit him off.
Well, he even says it too. Like, if you're not gonna join me, can
He-
I come back
He
out?
did. I would love to see. She's like trying to motherfucker him. Like yeah, I can do that too. And they're just swimming there naked, and he's like, well, what do we do now? Like we're just here. Like imagine the whole episode. It's just them in the water having the conversation, but they're just naked. So this definitely went to
floating around.
one. The guy last week because the arms and everything. He got lots of like fan cams and people thirsting over him. So good for you
Oh, he
guys in
looks
this
good.
episode. He looks good, and good for you gals and guys, whoever was digging him, because and I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm just saying like you got didn't get the butt, but you got a lot of stuff here, and then yeah, people that are already shipping these two as like the new Raylo, it's like, oh, you're getting that going on right now. So
Now,
Aisha. There you go.
You-
Doesn't sound the same.
Kaisha, yeah.
so
Tay, you didn't also answer before you go. Do you think what's the fate of Osha here? You think she's gonna turn?
I wanted to turn. I really,
Someone
really
I
do.
asked want. We want a lot of things. The thing is think.
What do you think that
Um,
helmet smells like? That's your second question when you're done.
I bet it smells
Strawberries.
Good. His hair looks good.
Strawberries? I think it smells
kidding.
fucking rank. I feel like it's just
Rank?
snotty sweat. You think
He's
he wipes
working
out
on
that
it.
inside?
Yeah, he probably usually swims with it, but he wanted to like make a statement this time with his mask off. But he's especially, I guess he did have to wear it a lot around May. So, but
I
no,
feel like in the
No,
battle,
I-
he's like, like he's just like,
which
and just
it-
snotting all over the place for some reason. Oh, he's snotting.
it's so weird. Before I saw what's the toy line that you like, Taylor?
Black
Black
Series.
Series.
Black Series. So last week after the episode, they put the Black Series helmet on, sold out.
Mhm.
But up until that, when I saw a picture of that, and then this week, to me the helmets always look black. Or like, were any of you surprised it was like a gold and bronze thing? Because up until last week, I was like, this is a black helmet, and the toy line was not black. Like, no, this is black, and now in this episode, it's like it's fucking bronze everywhere. I this whole time I thought it was a
I
black.
still thought it was
helmet.
pretty dark. Like there's a lot of red
Yes.
scratches and such on it. I guess it's not as dark as maybe I thought. I wouldn't say it's gold or bronze. Maybe I'll have to pull it up again.
You don't think
while
it's gold or
while
bro-
Taylor's going.
It's definitely bronze, right, Taylor? It's at least.
I'd say it's
bronze.
it's bronze
Let
for
me get
sure.
it.
That's how I kind of felt last week. Is I thought, oh, it looks bronze. The first time you see it though, it looked black, but this is because of the lighting and the angles that they kind of were focusing on. So it looked darker at the start, but last week
Oh.
for sure, it definitely felt lighter to me.
How do you spell my boy's name here?
QIMIR.
This image is like very bronze. So this is the Black Series one.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying. So last week they put that up. I was like, I didn't see that in the last 5 episodes I've watched. And then this week when he was working on it in the light, it looked like it was this color. So I guess it's been, which that makes me do like it actually more, because I think when it was black, it did look too similar to Kylo's helmet. It has like that similar shape and just in the face, like it doesn't have the nose. I'm still iffy on the teeth.
I
think
like the
it's-
teeth. I
Yeah.
like them more than now. Like the more I see it, it's like not a
Yeah. But yeah, so it's bronze and gold.
I like the helmet. The more and more I see it, I really, really do.
You got your armor
but-
confirmed in this episode by name, Taylor?
Yeah, cortosis. Yeah,
That's
which
cool.
completely went over my head when they announced it, but or not announced it. They unveiled it because I was like, "Oh, what is this? What is this?" But that guy in the chat pointed out it was cortosis
Right,
because
yeah.
they didn't name drop it at the time.
Yeah.
But
No, it's cool. I like that. It's looking back on it, it's something now more. I think at the time I didn't appreciate it, but seeing some of the fights again, like okay, that is something cool to it. So.
like I've probably watched last week's episode at least 6 times,
at least
and
once.
yeah, and I've watched the fight scenes on repeat. Like someone scored the fight scene with like John Williams' Duel of
God.
Fates. I was like, oh,
Okay, Duel of
the
Fates.
pants are gone. Like it was amazing. But
It's 5 a.m. Taylor's just doing the choreography, remembering everything. Yeah. Hard.
But to answer your
What a
question, Travis,
bat.
no, I think she will turn to the dark side.
Really?
So
Okay.
that's something like this flip I really like. I don't know how it's gonna go for May, but I think it's cool how we have this episode being just each twin or each sister, sorry, is basically on their own path with their opposite, like with each other's masters. This is very cool of a dilemma that we're gonna see unfold with the next episode. So
Yeah.
again, I just think he's back to Kymer. He's he's so fantastic. I really like him as a character. And even then, like I got goosebumps. Kirkland, I imagine you got goosebumps too when she's like, "Oh, what happened? Well, how'd you get that scar?" And he's like, "Oh, I was casted away too." And it's like, "Oh, you're Jedi Master?" And then he just looks at her. It's like, "No, no, no, please!" Like, "Oh, what Sith Lord fucking did this to you?" Like,
Wookiee. I pissed off
Wookiee,
this. I pissed off. What is the guy?
it was back on Kofar. That Kelnaka just fucked me up.
No, what the fuck's the Gungan? I messed
Holy
with some Gungan at a bar. I messed with some Gungan at a bar, and he just fucked up my back. But yeah, he did. It's funny too. You got that thunderstruck.
Did you hear
first,
that?
and then it came to me. That's funny.
Shay just told me that the store has hit the west side, or the storm has hit the west side.
The storm!
It's coming.
Yeah. Oh, Kirkland's look at me. I'm on the west side. Ya la la.
I don't have windows in this room. I can't see anything.
The two things he revealed. Yeah, he said that to her where he got that scar not from his Jedi Master, but he did reveal he was a Jedi.
And a long time ago. So we got some life stuff.
But that's interesting because that's like Plagueis Jr., baby. Like, how many of these people live? Like, I'm not saying he's this alien type, but the way that he said, like, a long time ago, may it sound like, yeah, whether it's by power or a race, which he's looking like a human race, but like, he insinuated the way the actor delivered the line made me think, oh, that long time ago is not just like 10 years ago. It's a long time. Like, that makes it seem like it's longer than OSHA could even kind of compensate for inner mind right now, right? But yeah, he was a Jedi. We don't know what happened per se of why he left or not. He said his master turned his back on him, though.
Master turned his back on him, yeah. So was that implying his Jedi Master? Honestly, it could even be. There's a certain degree of disdain he has for the Jedi. Like he's got that mentality. He doesn't like them. So it could be maybe a Sith Lord came in, killed his master, and then he just looks at it as like, oh, my master was pathetic and got killed and left me and abandoned me, or maybe his master just ran away, or I don't know. I feel like it's the that ran away. Fuck. I feel like you kind of have this scenario where his master gets killed and leaves him for dead, and then you have a Sith kind of sneak in there and be like, I can train you, I can help keep you safe, teach you whatnot. He's got a lot of backstory that was kind of hinted at here that I just really want to get to know more about and to learn. So he's definitely becoming an intriguing character, and the factor too that he is much older than how he appears to be makes me think like what kind of Plagueis Tenebris life extension stuff do you got going on here? I just get goosebumps thinking, of course, I don't have any foundation or factuality of this being concrete. I can only hypothetically think about this kind of stuff where maybe his master's still alive. Obviously, he's hinting at his master, not Jedi, but a dark side user being the one to teach him these lessons and give him these scars. And so I think, man, it'd just be so cool if the reason he really just wants to get that pupil now, obviously, is just you go and find his master and just overthrow his master. Or you have the sense here too, okay, if he was casted out by his Sith master and maybe his Sith master thought he left him for dead, and he managed to stay alive, sneak away, and maybe you have a Plagueis or a Tenebris with another. I'm hoping it's Plagueis. Maybe you have Plagueis with like another apprentice at this time or something like that. No Palpatine yet, but it's such a cool concept to think about.
I did over the past week learn that I guess Plagueis at one point was looking at 7 different options for his apprentice before he decided on Palpatine. So you could always go that route where he was one of the people he was looking at and it didn't go good, right? And then he gets killed off. But I think the only thing you do have to worry about, I know you want your fan theory of like a bigger Sith, which I think could happen. You guys pitched that last week and I'm more attuned to that now. I do think those scars looked a lot like a whip mark. And I don't think it's not a coincidence that we also got to see the whip lightsaber this episode. The same episode
that's a fair theory.
That's a good theory.
They're very odd scars. It doesn't look like a lightsaber, like the way they cut. I don't think anyone would cut like that. It had
nail
to be
marks from the Wookiee when they're boning.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Good for him. He pulled whatever that guy.
I mean, it could be Force lightning too, right? Like that's...
Could be, yeah. I just thought it's a little peculiar that they showed that whip off, and to me those could look like whip scars. And he's talking about that he did have a Jedi Master at least, or he was a Jedi, so that would at least assume at one point, even if he had a Sith Master, he at least had a Jedi Master as well too, right?
So that could be Vernestra, maybe could be the Master.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I know. I'm supporting.
Oh,
you.
You're like coming in here
like,
like, oh,
you heard it here first.
I got a good one for you.
You know what that scar could be? A whip.
Could be a whip lightsaber.
Yeah. You know who we saw this episode, but the thing is, it could be like he starts to turn to the dark side with his master, and she messes him up. Right? It could be like a Luke Ben situation, but Venestra goes through with it and tries to kill her apprentice. I don't know. So
Well, she was very coy in this episode. Again, I feel like her
she's
her
always coy.
Mog was I can't remember his name. This is the odd like
What? Mowgli from
Moog,
Jungle
whatever,
Book?
the secondary guy who was working with Renestra in this, the other Jedi,
With the
like
gimpy
Knight.
hand.
Oh, you're just trying to say his name?
Yeah, his name was like
Okay, you're making it sound
Mog.
like you said. At one point, you said her Moog, and I didn't know. Like, is that a different
Yeah, her
name
her
for
apprentice guy, whatever, who's tagging along. There's the odd Jedi characters that appear in this show that are just they really pull me out of it. And Moog was one of them because when she does her whip and kills the bug, he's like, oh, like maybe not like so orgasmically,
Gadzooks.
but he's
Oh, Andres, you killed him again.
he's so just he pulls me out.
Remember
Of
when you
it. He
killed
pulls me out of it.
Chimera? I loved
So,
it.
but the thing is, he's deducing the situation, and Vernestra is being
Yeah.
coy in the situation, like, oh, that's a serious accusation. But she wasn't even on board that it was Soul. It still felt like in this moment of dialogue that she was supporting Soul being the victim here, but he was the one implying that maybe it was Soul. And she
Yeah.
seemed to let on, like, she knows something more that's going on here. So I feel like that adds to your theory. Maybe she did have some kind of affiliation with Chimera.
Yeah.
But it really depends. I wasn't expecting them to find the bodies, but they don't know too that okay, this was if Vernestra's that whole theory doesn't pan out and she doesn't know who Chimera is, then I feel like it was predicted a while ago in the chat. Someone was pointing out how it could be Soul, and it doesn't look good on Soul. He's
That's
just
framed.
shutting the comms off and he's blasting out of there, so he looks sus. Suspect number one.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like someone said that last week, so sorry I can't give you credit for who you are. If you're watching again, let us know. But someone said, "Oh, I think Soul's gonna be the accomplice, like or set up to be the accomplice, and all be pinned on him." And I was like, "Nah, I don't really see it that way." Now it looks like they could be going that way. So credit to you. I do think they're doing it in a very easy way of like the guy just jumps to it could be Soul, and that's it. Like they haven't even speak like, and even then too, his comms are off, but he did like the guy said like, oh, it was a faulty line. It wasn't just like he was at the fucking course on then Saul was running through the halls like don't talk to me like I feel like it's a large leap to jump to right away seeing this murder scene, right? And I guess their thing was like, oh well, Soul's so talented, he's the only one that could have done this. It's like, all right, I guess. Like it just felt like a massive. I'm not opposed to the idea. I just think it's a massive leap in this episode. But I think that the show does this, unfortunately, where it gives you one line and then that's the direction they're going, like we've seen with May, right? So I guess they could be. It's just again, how do they? Now even more Jedi know about this, and they like what? Even if Soul gets set up, so it's like, what is going to be the reasoning for? Him kill like that's what I need to see like what how are they gonna jump to like this is the reason he killed a Jedi.
Well, yeah,
Like,
that's the reason is the big question, obviously, that they keep avoiding because he's not explaining to
no, but
the
even
twins
the
yet,
Jedi
right?
back at home and stuff. Like what? Like does everyone know the story? Let's say Soul did just kill the fucking witches, right? Let's just say fucked them all up. Is that just common knowledge for everybody then that he killed these witches?
I don't think so because they kept implying, like, even in this episode, he's like, I didn't tell. I have to talk to the High Council and
Yeah.
come forward with what I did. So no one really knows except maybe Vernestra. Well, not even Vernestra
She might. She could. She's
because she didn't
like
even
you
know
said,
there were
she's very coy,
twins,
though,
right? She is coy, but she didn't know there were twins
No,
unless she's playing.
I think she knew about the
dummy.
twins. I thought.
No, because
I thought she knew there was a dead twin. That's what I think she knew. I thought she knew
Maybe.
that she had a sister that had died.
It's
which again,
possible,
I will say
but
I could.
I don't remember it that way. But I have to revisit the episode.
My lights are
Um,
flickering, so if I drop out at any moment, that's what's happening. So big storm.
So, one more thing just to add on to that. So, yeah, when he announces to the council or says that he has to go in front of the council and kind of tell them everything. Oh, fuck. Did I lose my point? Oh, fuck, boys.
The lightning hit you. Force lightning.
Well, Walter was thinking, Kirkland, what do you think about Venestra there and being potential Chimere's master or anything?
I
to talk
liked
about
that theory a lot. I did not think about that at all
Mhm.
during the episode. So thank you for pointing that out.
So I get paid the big
Appreciate
bucks.
you. That's why we pay you the most.
1 cent an hour.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. Just based on, like Dalton pointed out, like just her vibe. I think throughout the entire episode. See, you didn't use this word particularly well, but I think it was sus. I think it was sus because she was shown in this episode when we're like looking for a certain character that
Yeah.
might be, a master, former master. So I think if just like analyzing show overall, like as a show overall, not just like a Star Wars show overall, like it would make sense that would be that character, because we haven't really seen much of her other than this. She's super sus. Apparently she gets car sick when she goes into hyperspace, but I don't think that's the only reason why she would have been that sus. And just being kind of cagey around Master Soul, like she knows all. I mean, you guys know a lot more about this character than I do, just from experiencing her in the books. But
we don't. She wasn't in the
Don't?
books we read.
We know
That's why.
everything.
okay.
No, she was. I think she's in the more young adult novels, right, Taylor? Because I think
She
it's when
was.
she was like
Okay.
a kid. Yeah, we didn't read those ones, but
Her book,
apparently,
it has Chimera in it. They go in all.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Come here, young guy, man.
The cover is just the helmet. It's just
Apparently
like
her
Chimera's
being
helmet.
apparently her being like air sick is something that they carried over from the books. So there you go. They're keeping with that canon.
Oh, canon.
Yeah, yeah. It comes in every once in a while.
The
so.
I mean, since I'm talking about her, the whip blade, it looked cooler than I thought it was gonna look. Honestly, I think
What?
We heard that. We heard that.
just kick me out already. Just fucking hit the button. I saw you
No.
reaching. It looked.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It didn't look that bad. Now, like it wasn't used that much.
Cheese
Now,
string lightsaber.
I imagine if we have like an extended fight scene, it would be a lot. But just her like shooting it out, I don't know. It didn't look that bad. I kind of liked it. Thumbs down from Travis Snell. What do you think, Taylor? Do you like the whip?
I got no problem with it. I
Yeah,
really
no
don't.
problem.
I
He didn't
think
say he
you're-
liked it though.
It's got no
I'm-
problem with it. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
like if I'm a Jedi Padawan and I get to pick my lightsaber here, I'm not running to the whip, I'll tell you that much. But
No,
if you're an expert with it, by all means go for it. I know what sabers I am using. I'm using dual wields.
That's how Chimere got his scar. He tried to use her blade and he just fucking whipped himself.
And she cast him out. You're a shitty apprentice.
You can't even
I don't-
use that.
I no longer like you. I hope
Why was I
Kyber
talking
fucking
about
kills
her?
with
Oh
it.
yeah, just the tie. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think there's a lot more to be revealed with that character, and I don't know. I'm hoping that it's kind of like a like you can't really go back from what she's done going forward. It would just make the character, I think, really interesting. Because right now she's just a green lady that kind of talks monotone and gets sick in space travel. That's all I really know about her up until this point.
See what I want? Let's say we do that full turn of the twin switches and everything like that. Let's say the dust settles, episode 8, like it's pretty much over, fades to black, and then you kind of get an epilogue, and you kind of get the same thing of Carrie-Ann Moss, where Venstra or whatever, Venestra, she's sitting somewhere doing something, and someone shows up and kills her. And when they take off the mask, it's fucking OSHA, because she's doing the same thing that May was doing to like get into being a Sith and stuff. But she's like gonna fulfill, like she's doing the better version, not May being like fight me and stuff. Like no, she's gonna like destroy them. That's what I would love of. Venestra gets killed, and then they show. And I know it might not be the big reveal because like they have the same face,
That'd
but
be
like
cool, though.
they'll show that like you'll know that it's OSHA, and then like oh man, she's on the way lane. Because what I don't want, this is what I really don't want. I don't want them to turn OSHA at the end of the season, and then episode 1 or 2 of season 2 have her go back against it. Because I could see them just using. Couldn't you see them though using that as a cliffhanger for a season of her joining, and then the next episode directly being like, no, actually, like what May did, right? Like, actually, no, I don't. This is too far for me, and I could see them doing that 100%. Just to
That's like unforgivable
cod tease
if we
us.
go that route. That'd be the biggest case of blue balling, I think. And
Yeah.
like, first of all, I want her to switch, and I hope that it's like something that's like along the line, like there's no going back. Like once she starts on this path, even if at the end it's like a Darth Vader thing, like on her deathbed, like maybe that where she's like, I was wrong, but like I don't even want that because we've already had that before. Like I want
so
her
then what do
to
you think happens
die.
with May?
I want her to die thinking that the Jedi are the bad guys, and
Yes.
like that is her alignment, because we don't really get that like at all. It's
only
always
with the
path
big,
to
big
redemption.
bads. Actually,
Vader
It's-
came back. He's in space heaven, getting BJ's.
Kylo Ren, we don't know, but he did Force Ghost away. And I was gonna say it's only the big bads, but I forgot Snoke was Palpatine, so it's just.
And he's probably in
Palp-
space heaven right now. He probably said, I apologize on his deathbed to
Get
someone.
those BJs.
He's getting space
from
BJ's.
Vader. Is this good enough for you, Master? Finally,
Just watch House of the Dragon, so of course that's on my mind.
Yeah, I was gonna ask though because you're like, oh, there's no way back for her. So what's the like if OSHA or May turns? What's the way back for her? Because she legitimately killed a Jedi Master already.
May?
Yeah, remember she killed Carrie
Oh,
Moss.
she
so it's
like she's. I think she can easily come back. I think there's a path to redemption.
Easily?
Oh yeah.
How would you like?
Live her whole life like Buddy that doesn't say anything and just like meditates 24/7. I think yeah, or like helps people for her whole life. That'd probably be a lot better than just not talking to anyone.
I'd have to see that whole episode. That's just like imagine if someone came and killed one of you guys, but then they came back and said, no, I didn't mean it, and they're like, oh, you can be on the podcast, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
I have to see that. That's always the problem with Star Wars. I do not believe like if they just May turns good and we can train her and they go, oh, she was on a dark path.
They're not training her as a Jedi. She's gonna go to jail. That would be.
They never go to jail in these shows.
No, they
movies,
don't.
though.
They don't. But I mean, that
Jail
would be her
doesn't
fate. Like
exist in Star Wars.
she's not gonna come out as a Jedi in this. Not a chance. Because right now she's a fugitive of Soul, and Soul has gone rogue, which doesn't look good. Both Soul and her they don't look good in this situation.
That's the rule of two. That's the new rule of two. There's gonna be another one.
Fuck, I would love that if they revealed like Chimera the whole time was like, or Soul was like the Chimera's master, and he was secretly he was pulling the strings, pushing. He's like, yeah, I killed those witches because I hated them all and stuff. It'd be great, but no way, they're not.
Well, we still. Again, we need the answers. We still don't know why and how Chimera knows so much about the twins' history, which is interesting. He knows a lot about Osha being a Jedi, which is interesting, especially because May thought Osha was dead, and Osha thought May was dead, obviously, as well. But Chimera knew that was not the truth and kept that from May, which is interesting. So that's one thing. I just want to touch upon this before we get too far off of it. But with Vernestra and the other Jedi, it's interesting to see that the Senate is putting pressure on them and saying, hey, we're going to audit you in the council. We need to do a thorough check of the Jedi. And so it already shows that they are not in a great place. Well, this one senator is like, oh, the Jedi has always been transparent with the Republic and yada, yada, yada. So you got nothing to worry about, nothing to hide. But now there are a few episodes back, we know that they've already been kind of keeping it on the down low with certain things. So I like it because they've said many times, this is the end of the High Republic era. And this is when the Jedi are really starting to kind of fuck up a little bit. And to all these naysayers out there was people freaking out. I'm going for the naysayers. People were freaking out about, oh, you got 7 Jedi that couldn't detect a dark side user right there. And like, man, I love the people that are supporting the show, and they're like, yeah, well, what about when Palpatine's in office, Attack of the Clones, and you got 7 Jedi Masters sitting right in front of him? I mean, it's a perfect thing. And in defense of Chimera as well, I love that his helmet was explained here too with the cortosis, and how it basically eliminates his vision but expands it at the same time through the Force. That just, man, this guy is just fighting blind. He just feels more deadlier and dangerous. I really love that. Also cool that they got a cortosis vein basically in his little hideout that he's been mining and building his stuff out of. So
I feel like to defend those people, even though I feel like that meme does have some warrantedness, I think it's kind of like how I feel with Luke and how they make him less special. I feel like those people would argue, well, the reason the Jedi can't detect Palpatine is because he's just that strong of a Sith and a dark side user. And if you do this with just like Chimera, then Palpatine's just as strong as Chimera. And then again, as the other route, which people have debated about all week, it's like, well, when Order 66 happens, I know it's a lot of Jedi, but still Yoda feels that, and no one feels these Jedi getting killed. So it's like, it's very all over the place of what the Jedi can and can't feel. There's
because a lot of Jedi are dying at this time all over the galaxy.
But this is like 7 to 8 all at once, and this probably hasn't happened in a long time, which was kind of strange. I know, like, even you said they did say that this episode of like, oh, it could have been the natural terrain that killed them. So I guess I just felt it strange that it didn't feel like a bigger deal, Vanestra and the guy you liked, Mog there or whatever.
Yeah, big Mog fan. When when they went through that, it actually seemed to me like it's not that big of a, well, it's a big deal that we lose Jedi, but like it's not out of the realm of possibility. That because they were like, yeah, there was whatever native species that hatched, and they just, well, that would make sense why we had mass casualties. It's like, really Really? Like that many Jedi just get fucking bought by like natural flora
They make
of
it
the
sound
planet?
like the Jedi just suck. That's what they make it sound
Literally,
like.
yeah. So
This
that's where it's
village
like,
got
okay.
attacked. The Jedi probably got killed too.
Yeah.
Well, fuck yeah. I guess we sent the B squad. Like Master Soul, it makes sense that he's still alive, but everyone else, yeah, those were kind of bad. So like to me, I think the argument of like last week when we were discussing this is like, isn't this insane that many Jedi go missing and like no one figures that it's
Nope.
Sith? Now it's like maybe a little bit more believability. However, they actually went there and started investigating and found the corpses with like lightsabers in their body. Now, if there isn't some crazy conspiracy theory that's attached to Venestra, I don't even know what the fuck the Jedi are doing in this point in time. Because like, how do they not put two and two together that there's I
Well, they think
don't
it's
know if they
Soul,
call it
remember?
Sith.
That's what they're thinking. They're thinking that for some reason Soul snapped and decided to take out
Yeah.
all these people, which that's why
Weak
I said
sauce.
then
Weak
in these
sauce
two
I counter with.
episodes, in these two episodes, I need to know why they would think that. Like what Taylor answered, to me, if I guess, let's say again, Soul murdered all these witches and it's a known fact, then maybe I could see someone being like, yeah, remember 10 years ago when he just massacred those people? Soul's done this before, but if it's not a known fact and it's just good Master Soul who's a couple days ago teaching our younglings, has a whole class of teaching younglings, then what's happening here? Like, I need a really good reason of why they can buy him as the guy who turned. Because up until now, there's nothing that would show signs of, it's not even before like, oh, Soul, he's a rebel, like the council. Like, if they showed actively at the Jedi Council, the Jedi Academy, like, people don't like him or don't trust him or he is kind of a recluse. It's like, no, he got sent on multiple, like, missions. Even when they're like, oh, this might be a bit emotional for you. He's like, I can do it. And they're like, okay, we trust you,
But I think
Soul.
that's the turning point there, is because it's getting emotional for him, and you have the return of return of a girl that was part of his past here that was supposed to be dead, and so many things are just escalating so fast here for him. And again, too, it looks really dark, and this went over my head at the time. I kind of forgot about it, but just his super emotional, compromising state of mind when Jackie died, because I totally forgot that Jackie is his apprentice. It was his Padawan, and yeah, it was, losing her was super devastating for him. And so,
Which I wanted to bring up is that, and I'm saying full on Jedi, is that the most emotional we've ever seen a Jedi in live action? He's slamming his fist. He's
are
crying.
you including Anakin? I mean, he
Anakin's
killed a
been pretty
Tusken
emotional.
Raider village because he was emotional.
I hate you.
Okay, you're
That's
right.
pretty emotional.
Okay, barring Anakin, because I don't think the point of that story was Anakin's emotion getting him to the dark side. I don't think Soul is going to the dark side. So, have we ever
Kylo
seen-
Ren, I'd say, because he
But it-
smashed his helmet and like,
No, he was a Knights of Ren then. He wasn't
Rey's
a
not a Jedi, right?
Jedi. Rey's not a Jedi at that point, in my opinion. Luke, once he became like Jedi Knight with the black, like he was pretty stone cold.
so
Obi-Wan,
Rise of Skywalker, Rey just destroys the TIE fighter on Ahch-To and just throws the lightsaber in there, and it's like,
is she a
"Fuck
Jedi at that
this."
point? I guess.
Oh, she's a Jedi. She's being trained by
Okay.
Leia. She's
Yeah.
got built her lightsaber.
And I guess Obi-Wan is pretty emotional when Anakin's burning up like a marshmallow. So
He
I
was
get-
pretty
It's emotional in the
contained. He
show,
just
too.
he did a beard stroke when Anakin was burning up. He held
No,
it
he
in.
didn't. He did. You don't
should've
discount
done it,
Ewan-
Anakin.
stroke.
Don't,
He did a beard stroke.
don't discount Ewan McGregor's great acting in that
Hurts
scene. You're the
donut.
chosen one. So yeah, I guess I just thought again it is just like I still feel like it is on the more rare side to see a Jedi that worked up and with tears. So I like seeing that. It's not a pro, like that's not a con. I like seeing it because it shows how much not only just apprentice. I just feel like Soul's like he's had a tough 72 hours. You know, like
Yeah.
he's lost all these Jedi. That girl he trained came
He's
back.
stuck with Basil on this fucking
He's
shit.
stuck with fuck Basil sniffing everything. He thinks
Basil's
May the,
got so much screen time in this show.
yeah, he thinks May that the girl's dead's back, and now there might be a Sith or dark side user. So yeah, it's been tough. I was gonna ask. So Basil the whole time, I don't know. He's running around. He's just humping May's leg at one point. I don't know. And I hated that comedic beat when that happened. Then she like squirted in the face.
It
with
felt like
something.
it was like Home Alone tier.
Yeah, it was like what, and it felt so weird because we were going back and forth between that and like the serious scene of Kymir and Osha talking to like, oh my god, but like, so did it really? So at one point he shoots her. Soul shoots May, and he figures it out. And you know, we already went over this. He tries to tell like 3 times something happens. He tries to tell the council. whatever connection issues. But he shoots her. Did he shoot her because he figured it out, or did he shoot her because Basil told him?
I think because Basil told him.
Fuck, man.
I really
That's why
hope it's
Basil
was
because he
behind
found
him.
it out.
I hope
really
that
hope
too.
that's the
But
reason.
because Basil was in that scene when she went down, Basil was right beside Soul, and I was like, "Fuck, he did tell him, didn't
Yeah,
he?"
because
And
he's in on it. But like, it doesn't make sense
he's-
because
yeah.
I was getting confused. Like, okay, well, Soul had to fix the transceiver, I guess, or whatever it's called, to get the comms back up. He went and did that, and then all of a sudden the ship just died. And then we get to a scene of Osha or May going to fix it, and we got Basil just doing fucking who knows what, just breaking the ship. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like, his first inkling, I don't know why we got the scene of him repairing Pip, and then Pip just going off with May. Like, he
Just
knows
factory
something's
reset,
wrong.
just
He's
like a
hiding.
whole
Factory
battery and power
reset, yeah.
button, like.
But fucking Basil's hiding from Soul as well. Like, he's just being super cryptic. He's crawling. We got a weird scene of him crawling through the vents with his flashlight and May following him, and it completely irrelevant because it transitions to a scene where Soul's like, "Oh, Shuck, come here." Just a weird character Basil is. I don't know.
Again,
I was hoping that there was like a sleight of hand moment, like he like switched out Pip for like a different Pip, and then that's what she resets. But I don't think is the case. I think it's just
Yeah, no.
he was in there for some comedic relief.
Basil is the Sith Master.
Yeah,
And no,
such a freak.
such a freak Basil.
Yeah.
Won't want to fight me either. Won't want to sniff me either. Is there? Again, I'm not trying to be like what Kirkland said. You don't want a backdoor, right? But I just wish that next week we're gonna get the whole thing of, what happened with Soul and the witches. I wish that very beginning that Basil sniffed her out right away, or Soul finds out, they take her out, they lock her up, and I think what a great episode it would have been of going back and forth between Chimere and Osha talking about the dark side, all this stuff, and then Soul explaining his actions. Other than like again the dark, more personal stuff to like the comedic Home Alone stuff, I think this episode would have been even better if imagine that going back and forth between those two stories and really seeing. And that's what I thought we were gonna get because like we're seeing like different versions of a master and apprentice or the forming of one, but really it was just fucking May running around trying not to be discovered and a lot of like hijinks going on. And Soul, great job by the actor, looking very emotionally distraught, trying to make a call. And why do you think I guess he just wanted to tell May? Why did he like turn off his comms and like what is it, hyperspeed out of there? Questionable move, I feel.
I have absolutely no idea.
I feel like it just adds to the fact that maybe Vernestra and the other Jedi don't know everything, and he he just, for whatever reason, it's hard. Like, we don't know what he's holding on the inside, so we don't know what his motivations are. We don't know why he needs to just be alone with May. Like, you're gonna sit here and listen to the things I have to say, because he's gonna try and justify his actions, I guess. It's weird seeing a Jedi do this. But it goes hand in hand with what Chimere was basically saying, like, I've embraced my darkness, what have you done with yours? And so this is him embracing his darkness, I guess, or getting it out on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say at this point.
Yeah. Is there anything else we haven't covered on this episode?
I found it humorous that the entire sequence between Osha and Chimere, it seemed like it was like a 9 out of 10 episode for me, and then everything else is like a 2 out of 10. It's just like 3 out of 10. Like, it's just such a shift on specifically Wit Twin is exciting for me and like intriguing to follow.
Yeah.
And that twin is not May. I am very curious what they're going to do with that character. I think she's going to die.
I kind of hope she does. But for me, I really don't see a path for me being invested in that character with what they have presented so far. I think she dies and they give that one more reason for Osha not to go back to the good side, even though the show would probably use it as the reason for her to go back to the good side, right? Like, Chimere will kill her out of anger, and then she'll be like, no, the dark side is bad, and I'm going to go back with Master Soul, and Soul will be like, the Anakin thing. Well, this is my apprentice, and I have to take her on. I do think that maybe Soul will make it back if they're trying to frame him. So, yeah, I don't know. And again, with her,
Soul has a death sentence in my eyes. Like, there's no
Yeah.
way that he can just end this on the Jedi Council and just carry on.
No, and
like,
that's sorry to cut you off. He's gonna die and take the knowledge of the Sith with him. Like no one else is gonna,
Yeah.
unless Vernestra has some kind of connection to Chimera. It's gonna die with
is it
Soul.
this
and no
season
one's
he
gonna know.
dies?
yeah,
I think so. Like, oh, sorry, did they confirm? I can't remember. Did they confirm second season?
No.
10 seasons.
No. Yeah, I don't. I feel like we're.
Damn. We're in for the long haul with this character, with the character made for 10 seasons.
I think they're just they're gonna wrap it up in this season. Whatever Kylo Ren's theme song is involved. Like, I don't. Apparently that. Is that gonna be wrapped up in this season? I don't know, but
Well, how's he gonna look up? Like he's just gonna look at her and be like, "You want to be a Knight of Ren?" And even though he's
I just don't like the concept of these showrunners creating a season of a show and leaving it completely open ended without that like guarantee of a second follow up season. Because then then you get the comic book runs that follow it up, all that jazz. So
Also, I'll want to be clear. I'll clarify because I'm the number one Kylo Ren fanboy in the world, and I didn't talk about this in the non-spoilers. I am not for this idea at all. The Knights of Ren being a thing right now. I think that is some of the biggest canon bullshit. Like to tell me the group that Kylo Ren joins predates Plagueis and Palpatine. That's some of the biggest Disney like we want to make our Star Wars feel more important. So it's like, those Knights of Ren guys, they were actually here before Palpatine. They were really important. Like if they do that shit with Chimera, no, that's a insta point down as well. Like I hate that. So I hate when they do that.
I'm
with,
gonna show
like,
you something. You're gonna
I
you're
don't
gonna
wanna
laugh.
See it. I don't
You're gonna
wanna
laugh.
see it. Don't show
This
me.
is official canon and apparently with Palpatine meeting the Knights of Ren. He just fucks them. He fucks them up. It's so good.
Really?
He just electrocutes. Yeah, because
What the fuck is Vader holding?
This is I don't know what he's
Like
holding.
no, go back up.
got
You
a
remember in
Black
Austin
Series figure.
Powers? No, you remember Austin Powers 2 when Austin
His
gets his
mojo.
mojo
His
taken?
mojo.
It's Palpatine's mojo.
That's Anakin's mojo. He's
Oh,
like, "Go
Anakin's
to back."
mojo.
Hold this.
So really, they've made
This
that...
is Ren himself.
Yeah, I know. And some people thought that might be Chimera eventually because look at his look. It's the same thing.
Those
He's-
arms, same thing.
He's
yeah.
jacked. He has the one, whatever gauntlet, and he has a cape and he has a helmet. So like, really, they like again for me. I throw out this can cast stuff because they don't care about it. They'll change everything, but I don't like the fact that the Knights of Ren are around.
He recruits them too. See, Palpatine's like, I'm sure we'll able to put you to excellent use.
Yeah,
So
I don't
he
like
just,
that.
He just
Fuck,
recruits
not
them.
at
But yeah,
all.
they're all getting fucking
Stupid.
toasted.
They're just going to space heaven right now, it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stupid. That's stupid. I don't like that. So, but again,
Yeah,
they haven't
that's
done that
stupid.
live action and everything. So if they do that here, then it's just another dumb thing. Because I still don't like, as usual. I said before, just there's stuff in George's Star Wars I don't like. But in general, leave George's stuff alone and just move forward, or very, very far back. Leave the fucking 1 to 6 alone. I could maybe excuse it if we had finished single trilogy and we're like, man, the Knights of Ren are fucking awesome. They made them cool. They gave them this great story. Then I would kind of be down for, there is this lineage of Knights of Ren. But because of what they did for them, I just hate that. It's like, oh yeah, they were like, why could they have been why did they have to be around while Vader and Palpatine are there? Why couldn't they have been a group that came up in the 6 to 7 era? Like, why is that a thing that has to happen? Oh, what are you showing me now?
I'm just letting Kirkland see Ren here.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
Ren.
so there's a character called Ren. That's not
Yeah,
Kylo
So
Ren.
they're Knights of Ren.
He
Yeah,
looks
Ren and
fucking
Knights of
charred.
Ren.
And it's just
It's
stupid
like-
they become this
It's like they
Kylo
want him
Ren.
to be that guy from Knights of the Old Republic too.
Darth
What's his
Sion.
name? Darth Sion.
Yeah. Darth Sion had a bit more fucked up though. This guy still has some skin. Darth Sion.
Plagueis.
missing an
Or sorry,
eye.
look at Sidious looking all
Yeah,
fucking
he's
sinister.
a little crusty there.
Right before he just zaps him in the face. Oh yeah? You want my mojo?
No one takes my mojo. Chimera. and OSHA. That's who are there.
That's in the comic book
Oh.
strip.
I don't know. We're playing with Deadly. We talk about all these things and how it could work out positive. I mean, I'm not going to be positive. I don't have the faith because they haven't given me the faith, so I just don't. What are you showing me now?
There you go, Kirkland. That's Luke and Luke and Ben Solo versus Ren.
Who's
See-
hiding like a little biatch in the corner there?
Okay, first of all, don't talk about that old guy like that. Ben has his lightsaber. Ben is. Oh, you said who is?
The old man.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Kylo. I'm like, he has his lightsaber.
Who's
and
the
he's
little
ready to-
bitch down there?
I think that's the guy. Isn't that Senteca or whatever? The guy that like this will begin to make things right.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Which Taylor, did you hear in the last episode of the Star Wars comic? It's going to be a comic focused on Luke and Ben.
Luke and Ben. Well, that's
Yeah,
pretty
so
cool.
like for Star Wars 50, but see, this is fine to me. In the era of like Ben and Luke training together, this is a great foe for them. Like, yeah, the Knights of Ren started. I don't need them in the fucking like dark times of Knights Ren, and this is what they're gonna. That's what they're gonna do.
there you go. That's Chimera.
Holy, who's
That's
Alpha
Chimera.
Chad?
That's Chimera.
God damn, that facial structure.
Chimera's gonna look.
Chad.
Chimera's gonna look even better in 30 years. You know. Fuck. Yeah.
Oh,
So that's
great.
what people are theorizing, that this could be Ren. Chimera.
Or a
Yeah.
start of Ren. Because what else would you do? I asked this, Kirkland. They play the Knights of Ren, and Leslie Headland says, well, we did it for a reason. What's the reason then, Kirkland?
I already told you I have no idea, but
Yeah.
if I'm put her in
Give
my
us a
shoes,
reason.
put myself in
Come on.
her shoes.
Yeah, you have to give us a reason.
I'm gonna say that is Ren. Chimera.
And
Chimera
he
is
changes
Ren.
his name. You know, we haven't got his last
Or-
name.
Like honestly, now that I've seen images, like that's probably like 65% chance that is the case. Probably even more, 69, just to get a round number.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is Ren.
Do you
I'm gonna
think
say
it's
that right now?
it's different though because like does he just change like nationality like is like
You
Ren
bring
was
that up again. He could look.
Ren was absolutely white.
He just gets zapped, and he just comes out white.
That's what Palpatine's powers. Like just a white.
Fucking
you could-
Iron Jaw as well.
You
Looking like
could-
Zac Efron after surgery.
I'll
You
bring
could
it
say you could try to stretch and see. He looks like a non-white individual, maybe. You know. I don't know.
Go to that other image, actually. No, not that one. Go up.
up.
Scroll up.
This fuck.
No.
Which
Yeah,
one?
that no, down in the center. Yeah, that one.
Well, he's a mask on. We can't see.
That's
his
fucking
face.
sick.
That
That's
doesn't help
Chimera
us.
right there. I can tell.
That doesn't help us, but
That's a sick shot, though. God
Yeah.
damn.
I
Send me
don't
this-
care.
Send me this comic book. I'm gonna be reading this later.
oh yeah, you got to read up on the Knight's Friend. But yeah, I don't care if they race swap and whatever. They've changed stuff in the books. They've killed characters in the books and brought them alive in canon, so they don't give a fuck. And neither do I anymore. You know, it's just like as I said, fucking when we started this podcast years ago, and as I've been proven right again and again and again. Hashtag canon does not matter. They don't give a fuck about it for the most part. Look at Caddy
It
Monday.
really doesn't. It really doesn't matter.
You haven't seen this in a millennia. Which I know people are like, oh, well, this could just be anything. I get it, but I just feel like there's a guy that like he heard it and like he has no other suspicion. Like these Jedi died, whatever. It's fine. It's all from a certain point of view, right? So yeah, we'll be here next week breaking down the Acolyte, see what's gonna happen, see if he becomes Alpha Chad over there, or what might happen. We got 2 episodes left. Good God, let's hope they somehow bring this to a strong close. But I think it's. I don't know. I think we're in danger. We're in deep waters right now. So we'll be back next week, and I promise you, it'll not be boring.